Akaash, his wife, in the Flagrant podcast finally responded to all the drama.
When you say hooking up, I think people think you
When I
meant...
mean hooking up, I just meant making out. Again, like everything I say is so amplified and hyperbolic because it's so like incongruous to who I actually am as a person.
Right.
And this is after weeks of Akaash being the biggest joke on the internet.
I was popping my and living my best life in these white boy frat houses, and I had a roster of guys that I would rotate through.
You know it's hard out here for a sin. When you're trying to give your honey every sin.
All because of his wife saying things like this.
Okay, so I've been getting a lot of comments that I'm using my husband for clout, and yeah, that's exactly what it is. No lies were told. I am leveraging the support I have. It's kind of like nepotism, but like through my husband, so like spousal nepotism. What's wrong with that? Do you know what my husband just tried to do to me?
Yeah.
We're leaving. Shut up. We're leaving in Paris in 5 hours, so tensions are a little high.
Yeah.
We also just redid our closet,
This is all her closet now. She took the whole closet.
which we already agreed upon.
Now she's saying she doesn't have no space.
And now I'm saying I don't have space for all my
Curious to know, like, how do you guys handle things around the house?
Oh, I actually don't cook and clean ever.
Oh, I don't cook. I don't clean. Let me tell you, I got this written.
Okay, so I try to cook like maybe once a week, but since I've been making content and TikToks, that hasn't really been happening. But no, we have like a cleaning lady come once a week because also like cleaning is hard and it's really stressful and it damages your cuticles and your nails. If you spend like X amount of money on the nail salon, it's kind of a waste to like up your manicure. That's how we kind of split that. We outsource, which I truly believe in.
And his reputation was absolutely trash. He's been called everything from a cuck to a simp, which honestly, it makes sense when it seems like he has a crush on the same guy that his wife does, and she's constantly trying to set up orgies.
I'm actively trying to have an orgy because, and you haven't seen Nav yet, but wait till you see him. His body goes crazy. His face card always slays, never declines. And it's kind of weird because I'm talking about your husband. You just know that Nav's at least 10 inches.
Can I say this is the best husband I've ever seen? And I'm not even saying that hyperbolically. It's a little annoying. And then like he's just getting in better shape.
You're off already.
Oh, what are y'all doing this whole time? No, he be saying some boss ass shit. What is the stuff he says to you that I'm just like, that's fire?
And I don't honestly know if this podcast will actually help his career, but it seems like it does provide some clarity on some of the things that the internet has been speculating over between Akaash and his wife.
You can have a roster of frat boys.
What does a roster mean?
It didn't actually translate to a roster. It just meant like 2 guys I was talking to and flirting with at the same time. That's it.
Now, I know this channel is super entertaining, but for all the times you get bored, there's a game you can play and get paid for. If you check out the link in the description or scan the QR code, you can sign up for freecash.com and start right away. It's simple, and it only takes a few seconds to create an account with your email and password. Inside, you'll see a wall of games and offers. Pick one you actually enjoy, play through the levels, and the cash lands straight into your free cash account. That's how some users are earning hundreds of dollars on certain offers. And you don't even have to spend anything. Just stick to the free levels and cash out. The whole point is, instead of sitting there scrolling like we all do, you can play games and earn money at the same time. And when it's time to cash out, you got options, PayPal or gift cards. So if you're curious, hit the link in the description or scan the QR code. Sign up free and start playing for cash in your spare time. And when you use my link or QR code, you get a $5 bonus to kick things off. But I'm Jew, welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it.
Tonight on Flagrant, the truth will be revealed. Marriages will be shattered.
Poppin' pussy. Yeah. Let's just get some definition. Yeah. We're gonna terms that you might need to know that.
So this woman built all her content around basically emasculating and embarrassing her husband, her TikToks and her podcast.
Your husband split finances, and I'm gonna be really off.
I don't.
We don't.
We don't.
We don't.
First of all, that's a red flag. I'm not like, no joke. I love you girls. If you want to work, all for that, whatever. But like any man that doesn't want to have a joint bank account or isn't being transparent with his accounts or has separate accounts, that's a red flag. This is not a two-way street. This is a one-way street. His money is our money and my money is my money. And look, have I only made $600 from content creating? Wow, I went up $100 from last week. But that's My money.
All of her content makes her seem like a spoiled, entitled gold digger, and him like a simp. And really because of that, it's Akaash who's known, who's a celebrity, whose reputation has been under attack nonstop. But instead of Flagrant giving Akaash a safe space to address any of his feelings, the backlash he's been receiving, or correct some facts about his relationship and marriage, they basically reward his wife, whose whole entire platform, again, is built around embarrassing Akaash for views and clout, and gave her more views and clout, and more of an opportunity to get famous, which is her whole goal in the first place.
To
break
be
it down.
fair, I thought it was just like dancing, getting dressed up, and maybe that was my mistake.
In what world has popping pussy ever meant dancing or getting dressed up? What? So basically, this whole podcast is going to be saying she didn't understand the context or the terms that she was using. So she didn't mean any of the stuff that she was saying, and she was naive. I guarantee you.
Look at this.
Big one.
Yeah, the act of getting dressed up, looking fly as hell, wearing a minimum.
Who has ever looked up anything on the Urban Dictionary? If you have to use the Urban Dictionary, you shouldn't be using the words that you're looking up. I guarantee you a white person owns the Urban Dictionary.
With 3-inch heels, preferably higher, and dancing your ass off
Urban
into the
Dictionary
wee hours of the morning. That was what I was doing.
Yeah, this is white people's definition of it. This is what you learn. Guys, what do you think popping pussy is?
God, that was right.
That was your bet.
A real Urban Dictionary.
Just call every time, right? Anytime we're worried about anything like that. Yeah,
that's what I thought as a one.
So she's gonna have to say the same thing about having a roster of guys and getting ran through and missing college so much. She didn't understand what a roster of guys meant. She doesn't understand what ran through meant.
I thought popping pussy was just dancing. I thought it was like twerking.
That's what I thought.
Because you're white.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that that's what you meant.
Yes, that's what I meant.
But like once the internet makes you a whore.
The internet didn't make her a whore. Her content and the things that she says out of her own mouth is why she's perceived that way. On her own podcast, she's lusting over her co-host's husband while she's married. She's talking about his meat size while she's married. She's trying to set up threesomes and orgies while she's married. She goes on TikTok and talks about she misses college so much and getting ran through at frat parties and having a roster of guys. She's giving butthole stories on her podcast. This is not the internet that made her look any type of way. She did that to herself.
Allegedly, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah.
Is it true that you said that there was a rotation of guys?
A roster.
Roster.
Yeah, what does a roster mean to you?
What does this mean?
If she tries to say she didn't understand the term roster, if you got a roster, that means you out here pimping, whether you a guy or a girl. If you have a roster, that means that you got options when it comes to dating, clapping cheeks, all the above.
You have to understand, have you ever heard of the repressed Catholic schoolgirl?
Yes.
I was,
She is completely different on this podcast than she is in her own content on her own podcast on TikTok. She's coming off way more normal, way more reasonable, and actually more likable because she's unbearable on her own podcast talking to her friend or on those TikToks.
repressed Indian girl that I didn't even watch Jersey Shore in high school because I felt it to be too inappropriate. So when I got to college, I'm like, oh my God, I can dress however I want. I can do whatever I want.
You can have a roster of frat boys.
What does a roster mean?
It didn't actually translate to a roster. It just meant like 2 guys I was talking to and flirting with at the same time. That's it.
That's all.
Yeah.
And when you say hooking up, I think people
When
think you
I
meant
mean
fucking.
hooking up, I just meant making out. Again, like everything I say is so amplified and hyperbolic because it's so like incongruous to who I actually am as a person.
Now she admits that she's a complete liar, fictitious character online, and none of the shit she says she's actually lived or is living. So it's kind of like, who do you believe? Do you believe that she's lying in all her other content when she's saying she had a roster of guys, got ran through, misses college, wants to set up a threesome, is talking about her co-host size, refuses to show her husband affection? Or is this the real her where she's innocent and naive and didn't know the context of anything that she was saying or how it would be received? It's really interesting that she's playing this innocent, naive role now compared to all her other content.
Right. So you're saying you're a big old prude.
Yeah, literally.
You know, you waited your whole life to share your virginity with a girl, and she threw it to some frat house in 20 years.
The fact that she says she had a roster of guys 1 minute to now say it was just 2 guys that she flirted with is crazy work.
Okay. So
Okay.
no real roster.
Yes.
Because what is a roster, Al?
Yeah, what's a roster?
What was a roster like?
What was Urban Dictionary, Indian Dictionary, right?
Yeah.
You got options.
Turban.
You got options that's gonna come over and pop that pussy. That's literally what it means.
Okay, Al, what is a roster, Al?
So a roster is a rotation of partners.
He was about to say bitches. He was about to say a roster is a rotation of bitches. He called himself
So a roster is a rotation of
a rotation of bitches. He called himself.
partners
Yeah.
that they would pop their pussy for me.
No. Okay.
That what a roster would do.
What a roster is.
Women on my roster would be popping their pussy.
This is a good lesson.
Good lesson.
Yeah.
They're really trying to convince people that she didn't know the words, terms, or context that she was using to say all of this stuff when she's making content to get views, to get clout. Now it was all an act, none of it was real. And I think actually one of the most egregious parts of this whole saga is him going on all these podcasts, bragging about being a virgin and marrying a virgin, and he found a perfect woman and she was a virgin too, just for her to say the complete opposite in all of her content. It made him look absolutely crazy.
My wife also hadn't had any sexual partners, so that helped us connect a lot more.
Let me ask you this.
And I
Do you believe her?
I was popping my and living my best life in these white boy frat houses, and I had a roster of guys that I would rotate through.
Also, like in terms of the gold digging,
Yeah.
like
Serious.
do you consider yourself a good gold digger?
Yeah, because I invested low and waited for it to go high.
You're a gold prospect.
Yeah, that's not a gold digger.
Exactly.
What is that? You're like a hedge fund manager.
It's still very weird to me that they're giving her all this time, shine, and platform when Akaash is really the one whose reputation was hurt by all of this, by her content. Why not give him the seat to explain, express himself, say how he feels about all of this, and make this a safe space for him instead of just giving her more clout?
I was working too in the beginning.
One
and
of us
you
was working.
weren't.
Yeah, what were you doing?
When we met, I worked at Goldman Sachs. I got a job at Deloitte after I graduated college. I was a consultant.
Sleeping in until
I
12
worked in-
12 p.m. Right? Yeah.
So gold digger, spending your money.
Well, I wasn't making that much. I was making like 70 grand a year in New York City on 2 people.
But that's good though.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Okay, so then when did you guys get really broke? And why did you stay with him?
Yeah, I mean,
Why?
Yeah.
I never actually asked why.
No, you know why, bro. Come on.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
You're supposed to be a gold digging whore according to the internet.
It's not according to the internet. It's according to her content that she puts out. She made the content saying she refuses to work. She doesn't cook, clean, do laundry, and won't do his laundry. He needs to pay all the bills. Somebody not being transparent with their finances up front is red flags. She said all of this stuff. It's not the internet making it seem like she's a gold digger.
there was like so many red flags early on.
But why'd you stay? That's a
Okay,
stupid
I
of you.
stayed because I felt like as soon as I met you, it was love at first sight. I loved you. Like, I don't know. I just felt like
Her digital footprint is so bad at this point. It's really hard to believe anything coming out of her mouth. Now it was love at first sight, meant to be, but she's literally on a podcast obsessing over her co-host's husband and meat size and trying to sleep with him. The math ain't mathing.
you just like know when you have that special connection. It's like, okay, like God picked this person out for me. And like everything he did from top to bottom, like his character, his integrity, his personality, like I just like loved everything about it. So I was like, okay, like I don't want to just leave because we're going through a hard time, because I really believed in like his potential. I also knew that about him, that he had like ambition and this work ethic. So I was like, okay, like, so we're going to go through this bumpy time. But I was like praying harder than I ever prayed, just that we would get out of it and like something would resolve. And I was just hoping that.
And it worked. Those prayers worked.
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing that we saw these videos of was the ducking the kisses. That was
God bless a woman that shows affection.
These ones piss me off.
That's what I'm guilty of. I'm
These ones
guilty of
pissed
that.
me off, and I didn't like it one bit, and I need you to explain yourself immediately.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to know because
No.
they edited it so perfectly where like he's going in and then it does a little ass, but he's already got his lips pursed, so he gotta commit to the kiss. Duck his kisses when there are not people around.
No, not when there aren't people around, just when there are people around. And I never even knew.
Worse.
I never.
Ducking your significant other's kisses in public or when there are people around is crazy work. That's so embarrassing.
I didn't know that I did that, so I really sat and thought about it. So I think it's a few things. I think it's like,
You really sat and thought about it. Yeah, yeah.
like, okay, maybe it's like the repressed Indian girl thing where it's like I get a little bashful. I do get a little shy, despite what the internet thinks.
Most Indians do. I'm the exception.
Yeah, I
don't
think
give a
I
fuck.
also get overstimulated because Akaash does it a lot. Like every 30 seconds. Yeah, it like regulates him, but it kind of overstimulates me. And like the videos people have seen are like the proposal videos, they're like already overstimulating.
Okay, so here's the thing that I think is like very I think the relatable thing is not wanting to make out with your partner in front of your entire family.
Yeah.
Making out and showing affection is two completely different things. Nobody's trying to tongue down their significant other and get freaky in front of family. But a peck, hug, affection is completely different.
People just do it because they're like, oh, I don't want my partner to feel embarrassed in this moment, even though they're like, ugh. And you're just like, you just feel the ugh. I do think it's relatable though to have that sensation of like, I don't want to be intimate around my like brother, sisters, or mom, dad.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that is I think that's relatable to people.
Yeah.
But most people just do it and then do a quick one. Like my wife will just give me like a quick smooch and then go back to doing something.
Our parents kissing ever, so it's like so foreign to us.
This is an interesting thing that a lot of the internet might not understand.
Yeah.
But it's like your family, your parents were not like romantically in love at all.
To each his own, I guess. My parents were never married. I rarely ever even saw them in the same house or room. And growing up, my mother didn't date. I never saw her show affection to anybody but me and my sister. But for me, that's not an excuse to be an unaffectionate person. I'm affectionate with my kids. I will be affectionate with my woman. I don't view not seeing that growing up as a reason to not be affectionate to a person that I'm with and I love.
Will you kiss Akaash right now?
I don't even know if I want to see
on
it.
the lips.
Okay. Everybody here.
It's best like this.
Over here. Bring that ass over here.
These are 40-plus-year-old dudes right now.
Oh, shit.
It was overstimulating. It was overstimulating.
You guys have like idiosyncrasies that are kind of different from a lot of couples.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Apparently.
bruh.
Yeah, like her telling Akaash, shut up on video and posting that to TikTok. That is different. Other people would just call that disrespectful as hell.
Orgy thing was fucking, that shit was crazy. I even watched it and I was like, so break us down.
I need an explanation.
Has the orgy happened?
So, okay, no, it hasn't.
Okay.
No, I still only fucked one woman.
If she comes out here and says she didn't understand what an orgy meant or how that was making her or him be perceived, like, come on, man.
That's what I thought was missing in the whole orgy combo is that he also gets to get some
I
side.
could have doubled my body count.
Nah, but Akaash wants the dude.
The dude.
You think he can handle all 10 inches of that? You can take that down?
The fact that she talked about her co-host meat size, that is still crazy to me. Let my woman ever do that. We about to be single so fast.
Okay, what the fuck was that joke? Because I think for a lot of people, myself included, like I saw that and I was like, why would she even joke around about that with Akaash there? And like, what was the what was the backstory to that?
Looking back, like it's been pointed out to me and I get that. I feel like for us, I think I learned so much of my humor from Akaash, not to like justify it, but just to explain like, oh, if I say these absurd things, it's so funny because it's not who I actually am.
Right.
But I kind of forgot that like the internet doesn't know all these multi-dimensions of my personality. So they're just seeing this one thing.
Right.
So the orgy joke started with like Akaash being like, oh, Nav's really hot. Like Akaash would show Nav's picture to his trainer or whatever. Because he's like really like,
Akaash and his wife both having a crush on the same dude is crazy work. He's not doing himself any favors.
I will say also, if she had a body count, I would have been like, hey. Cut it. But because she doesn't, and I know how like innocent she actually is.
Oh, you are a virgin? That's real?
I wasn't
You were
a
a
virgin
virgin?
until I met him, yeah.
She still had butthole stories though. What are we talking about?
With that joke, I'm like so secure.
Oh, I absolutely.
Keep saying jokes. There was no jokes. There was no punchline. She did a whole podcast lusting over her co-host husband, broke down meat size, and then was pressing them about orgies nonstop. Where was the joke?
One of our fans asked us, would you guys have an orgy? So I just said, oh, I'm actively trying, like as a joke. But how come you can have a joke about outsourcing hand jobs and blowjobs?
He can have a joke because he's a comedian. She is not a comedian. She is a housewife that's trying to get clout and fame from her husband that started a TikTok and started a podcast. She's not a comedian. Why does she think she's telling jokes when she's just talking into a podcast mic? She's not on stage telling jokes. That's why he can say things that are perceived as jokes and she can't.
She's all talk. She's all bluster. That's why I haven't tested the hand job
Paper
thing.
tiger?
She's our dog. She's a yapping little dog behind a fence. Nothing's gonna happen. There's no bite. All bark, no bite.
Jocelyn cooks. She cleans. She maintains the home. On a monthly basis.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
There you go.
Not by me specifically, but yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
you also will find people.
You schedule, but not you.
Yes.
You schedule. Someone got to manage the
We
house.
all have cleaning people.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Yeah, but all of their wives and significant others aren't on podcasts or TikToks bragging about not cooking, not cleaning, not doing laundry, not even his laundry, him paying for everything and them living this luxurious lifestyle. So it's different.
And I go on the road, I come back, it's clean. I don't know if you hire somebody or if that's you, but every time I come back,
She
it's
doesn't
Right,
clean,
so,
bro.
yeah.
real. Without me knowing, now I feel betrayed. I thought you just
Tell me something. When Akaash is sick, how do you behave?
Ooh.
We know she goes on a podcast and complains about him and basically calls him a bitch. Even though that man wasn't sick, he was suffering from depression, in bed, sleeping for hours on hours.
There's an undertone of irritation after like day 2 where you can tell she's like, all right, let's.
I mean,
but
I-
she's
You
very-
got 2 days.
Okay, can I just say I feel like you guys are a little bit like you guys exaggerate a lot.
When Akaash is sick, you hate taking care of him.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah.
do I like it? No.
How can anybody be confused when the internet thinks she's a trash wife when she's gone on record on her own podcast saying stuff like this about her husband?
Why would anyone like taking care of a sick person?
Because you love them. You should want to take care of the person that you love and make sure they have everything they need and get better. That's what you do when you love somebody, and it's not an inconvenience to you. And for that to be her mentality says a lot.
That's a good point.
I
Like,
think
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
And maybe it is a
don't let
hint
her
of
fool you.
autism.
Don't let her
No,
fool you in.
So she went from not understanding words to being a naive Indian Catholic girl to now being autistic. She pulled out every excuse in the book to just explain her shittiness as a spouse.
I
It's
heard
like when Akash's birthday comes around, I have to pretend that it's like so special. But
I
it's
don't
like
even ask for this.
the one day, yeah, you do. The one day of the year that I have to like be totally selfless,
Oh, yeah. That I
which
want.
is really hard for me.
Yeah, that I want.
Gasoline.
They keep saying that the internet is making her an unlikable person. She is an unlikable, entitled person that comes across like a selfish asshole. That is not the internet making her seem that way.
Doing a horrible job right now. Gasoline. Just when we think we've gotten you out of it, go back in. Go back in. Okay? You dig the hole deeper.
Unfortunately, we had planned the trip like 2 months earlier. India, Dubai, with her mom, Thanksgiving with my mom. That's what whores do. They hang out with their mom. You know what I mean? What a horse thing to do.
It's funny because the person on Reddit that said they went to his show kept referring to his wife as a whore, and he's doing it right here. Whole time, it wouldn't have taken any time or effort for him and her together to upload a video addressing all the points that they're being criticized about and then go on with their lives. But they didn't do that. She kept putting up TikToks where he looked miserable and like he was being held captive, and she kept releasing podcasts where it seems like she was doubling down nonstop.
So you're presenting this version of yourself online that's not true.
I was committing to this bit because I thought that that was the funny thing to do, but I'm not a comedian, obviously.
you're not
Fucking obviously, that's the thing that doesn't make sense about any of this. She's saying all of this was a bit. All of this outrageous, disrespectful stuff that she's saying, this whole personality was a bit, and they were jokes. But she's not a comedian, so none of this was jokes or funny. There was no punchlines. Just disrespecting her marriage and her husband nonstop.
you seen any memes or content that you guys thought were funny?
Aisha chicken curry.
That was
You gotta go through the funny
objectively
ones.
good. Objectively good.
Yeah.
I also like Aisha Curry.
You would like her because she's in the same vein as Jada Pinkett Smith. She also comes across as a terrible, jealous wife. Like she's jealous of Steph, of his success, and she wants to be the famous person in the relationship. So that makes sense.
Yeah, I
I can see your point. I can see your point.
Was there anything that specifically bothered you or
I mean, I think people talking about the sore butthole story, 'cause
Yeah.
that was more kind of like an assault story, but I didn't want to label it as such because I didn't think it was super traumatizing and I had already shared one. This is like when Tinder first came out. There was no Bumble, there was no Hinge. I met this guy on Tinder and I stupidly was like, oh, you can sleep over, but like not really wanting to hook up that much. Cause again, for me, like I was just like, okay, maybe we can make out and just like whatever and cuddle.
An Indian guy might understand what an Indian girl means when she says we're hooking up. It doesn't mean we're fucking.
There's something conservative.
I think most American.
I was
people-
thrown off by her inviting him over because when
Yeah,
I've been
that was-
invited over, that usually means, oh, we're fucking.
No, I know
Yeah.
that was again stupid decision on my part. I was like 21. Honestly, I don't even remember too much, but I just remember him like trying to like sneak a finger, and I was like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
But like then the next day, like it was like kind of feeling sore.
So this was a creep pervert that was trying you. And the internet ran off with this crazy narrative of something completely different.
Yeah.
They keep trying to blame the internet. The internet didn't make up that story or share that story. She did that. That's not the internet's fault for hearing what she said and understanding, okay, well, she's not a virgin.
But this is why I think that there's
get
confusion.
confused, yeah.
'Cause to feel comfortable talking about that, but then also not feel comfortable with certain sexual things. That's where the brain goes.
Right. You feel comfortable sharing butthole stories on the internet, but not kissing your husband.
The only thing I try to do is just be myself on TikTok, but like 10 times extra.
Yeah.
And again, like not to justify, but I feel I've been that guys since I'm 22, and I feel like I've learned so much of my humor from him, my personality from watching you guys. I've hung out with so many comedians, so I'm like, oh, like be extreme, be funny, as long as your actions are a good person. You know what I mean?
She's not a comedian or telling jokes, so that doesn't make sense.
I think the big disconnect with you is like, and also there's a version with both of you, is it you guys are so fucking innocent because you've never been with anybody. So when you say weird sexual things, you think it's absurd.
Yeah.
But you are unique in your innocence with each other.
I think that was the mistake I made, is like thinking that people would understand that.
They will not.
Yeah, they won't.
And I think, to be fair to everyone, there was a time in our relationship where I would have been more insecure, but when like she's essentially homeless with me and didn't go anywhere and stayed right by my side, I think the jokes don't bother me.
That was the podcast and them addressing everything for whatever it's worth. I don't know how the public is going to receive it. It did just seem like a bunch of excuses on her part, like I didn't understand what this meant or that meant, or I was telling jokes even though I'm not a comedian. It's just hard for me to believe that any woman would be that naive to not understand how the stuff that she is saying on public platforms, on a TikTok, on a podcast, would affect her famous comedian husband. I think this, like most controversies, if Akaash just moves on and gets back to his groove of making content and whatever else he does, stops crashing out during comedy shows, he'll be fine and people will move on. As far as his wife, I have no clue how she'll be received online moving forward. If you believe what she said, then her whole personality online to this point was just one big bit where she was playing up everything and trying to be as outrageous as possible. And if she continues that, it will continue to damage her husband's reputation. On the other hand, if she shows her true personality, kind of like she did on this podcast, will she get any attention or views? I really don't know. It's hard to say. I guess we'll have to see if any other outrageous, embarrassing clips come out when she's on the podcast with her co-host or when she's releasing TikTok. But shout out to my channel members. I appreciate y'all so much. And thanks for watching. Y'all let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter for behind the scenes and life stuff. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.